not to fall into real evils. And as to the rest, if there was anything evil, they would have provided for this also, that it should be altogether in a man's power not to fall into it. Now that which does not make a man worse, how can it make a man's life worse? But neither through ignorance nor having the knowledge, but not the power to guard against or correct these things, is it possible that the nature of the universe has overlooked them. Nor is it possible that it has made so great a mistake, either through want of power or want of skill, that good and evil should happen indiscriminately to the good and the bad. But death, certainly, and life, honor and dishonor, pain and pleasure, all these things equally happen to good men and bad, being things which make us neither better nor worse, therefore they are neither good nor evil. How quickly all things disappear! The universe, the bodies themselves, but in time the remembrance of them. What is the nature of all sensible things? And particularly those which attract with the bait of pleasure, or terrify by pain, or are noised abroad by vapory fame, how worthless and contemptible and sordid and perishable and dead they are. All this it is the part of the intellectual faculty to observe too who these are, whose opinions and voices give reputation what death is, and the fact that if a man looks at it in itself, and by the abstractive power of reflection resolves into their parts all the things which present themselves to the imagination in it, he will then consider it to be nothing else than an operation of nature, and if anyone is afraid of an operation of nature, he is a child. This, however, is not only an operation of nature, but it is also a thing which conduces to the purposes of nature. To observe, too, how man comes near to the deity, and by what part of him, and when this part of man is so disposed. Nothing is more wretched than a man who traverses everything in a round and pries into the things beneath the earth, as the poet says, and seeks by conjecture what is in the minds of his neighbors, without perceiving that it is sufficient to attend to the daemon within him. Hence it is possible that thou mayest depart from life this very moment. Regulate every act and thought accordingly. To go away from among men, if there are gods, is not a thing to be afraid of, for the gods will not involve thee in evil. But if indeed they do not exist, or if they have no concern about human affairs, what is it to me to live in a universe devoid of gods, devoid of providence? But in truth they do exist, and they do care for human beings. They've put all the means in man's power to enable